Motors held fast through most of the last century and maintained its price dominance. Since 1990, however, Toyota's share of the US market has more than doubled. By 2007, Toyota's share has climbed to 16.3% from only 7.8%, more than double. During the same period, GM saw its US market share drop dramatically from 35% in 1990 to 23.8% in 2007. And in the early 2008, the unthinkable happened. US consumers bought more foreign made automobiles than one made in America. Since the 1990s, faced with this onslaught of competition from Japan, GM and other US automakers have scrambled to offer incentives aimed at helping them hold on to that dwindling share. Heavily promoted with advertising, GM, for one, has offered cashback incentives of between $500 and $7,000 to customers who bought their cars and trucks for a long time. The promoters, I'm sorry, for a long time, the promotions worked brilliantly. GM sales were on the rise again, but
One
in the
minute, one
long
minute, Deepa
term,
ma'am, 1 minute.
uh,
Mansi, are we recording or are we sharing it in
Yes, yes, it's
Ganesh?
already started.
Oh, okay, thank you. Sorry. Yeah, ma'am, please carry on.
okay. But in the long term, the incentives only help to dramatically erode GM's profit margins and put them in a deep hole. In 2007, GM lost $729 per vehicle, in large part due to incentives. Realizing that the model was unsustainable, GM announced it would reduce the amount of cashback incentives it offered, and with that reduction, sales plummeted. No cash, no customers. The auto industry had effectively created cashback junkies out of customers, building an expectation that there is no such thing as full price. Viren, would you like to take over?
No, I just left. So after like 20 minutes, I can read.
Hmm? Okay, my throat is not cooperating. If anyone wants to take over, please take over.
Yes, I may go ahead. From where we have to start? Which line is? Okay.
Yeah, carrots and sticks are the next section.
Okay. Carrots and sticks. Whether it is 2 for 1 or free toy inside, promotions are such common manipulations that we often forget that we are being manipulated in the first place. Next time you are in the market for a digital camera, for example, pay attention to how you make your decision. You will easily find 2 or 3 cameras with the specifications you need: size, number of megapixels, comparable price, good brand name. But perhaps one has a promotion, a free carrying case, or free memory card. Given the relative parity of the features and benefits, that little something extra is sometimes all it takes to tip the scale. In the business to business world, promotions are called value added, but the principles are the same. Give something away for free to reduce the risk so that someone will do business with you. And like price, promotions work. The manipulative nature of promotions is so well established in retail that the industry even named one of the principles. They call it breakage. Breakage measures the percentage of customers who fail to take advantage of promotion and end up paying full price for a product instead. This typically happens when buyers don't bother performing the necessary steps to claim their rebates, a process purposely kept complicated or inconvenient to increase the likelihood of mistakes or inaction to keep that breakage number up. Rebates typically require the customer to send in a copy of a receipt, cut out a barcode from the packaging, and painstakingly fill out a rebate form with details about the product and how it was purchased. Sending in the wrong part of the box or leaving out a detail on the application can delay the rebate for weeks, months, or void it altogether. The rebate industry also has a name for the number of customers who just don't bother to apply for the rebate or who never cash the rebate check they receive. That is called slippage. For businesses, the short-term benefits of rebates and other manipulations are clear. A rebate lures customers to pay full price for a product that they may have considered buying only because of the prospect of a partial refund. But nearly 40% of those customers never get the lower price they thought they were paying. Call it a text on the disorganized, but retailers rely on it. Regulators have stepped up their scrutiny of the rebate industry, but with only limited success. The rebate process remains cumbersome, and that means free money for the seller. Manipulation at its best, but at what cost? Fear. If someone were to hold up a bank with a banana in his pocket, he would be charged with armed robbery. Clearly, no victim was in any danger of being shot, but it is the belief that the robber has a real gun that is considered by the law, and for good reason, knowing full well that fear will motivate them to comply with his demands. The robber took steps to make his victims afraid. Fear, real or perceived, is arguably the most powerful manipulation of the lot. No one ever got fired for hiring IBM, goes the old adage, describing a behavior completely born out of fear. An employee in a procurement department tasked with finding the best suppliers for a company turns down a better product at a better price simply because it is from a smaller company or lesser known brand. Fear, real or perceived, that his job would be on the line if something went wrong was enough to make him ignore the express purpose of his job, even do something that was not in the company's best interest. When fear is employed, facts are incidental, deeply seated in our biological drive to survive. That emotion cannot be quickly wiped away with facts and figures. This is how terrorism works. It is not the statistical probability that one could get hurt by a terrorist, but it is the fear that it might happen that cripples a population. A powerful manipulator. Fear is often used with far less nefarious motivations. We use fear to raise our kids. We use fear to motivate people to obey a code of ethics. Fear is regularly used in public service ads, say to promote child safety or AIDS awareness or the need to wear seat belts. Anyone who was watching television in the 1980s got a heavy dose of anti-drug advertising, including one often mimicked public service ad from a federal program to combat drug abuse among teenagers. This is your brain, the man's voice said, as he held up a pristine white egg. Then he cracked the egg into a frying pan of splattering hot oil. This is your brain on drug. Any questions? And another ad intended to scare the hell out of any brash teenager. Cocaine doesn't make you sexy, it makes you dead. Likewise, when politicians say that their opponent will raise taxes or cut spending on law enforcement, or the evening news alerts you that your health or security are at risk unless you tune in at 11. Both are attempting to seed fear among voters and viewers, respectively. Businesses also use fear to agitate the insecurity we all have in order to sell products. The idea is that if you don't buy the product or service, something bad could happen to you. Yeah, every 30 seconds, someone dies of a heart attack, states an ad for a local cardiac specialist. Do you have a radon? Your neighbor does. Reads the ad on the side of a truck for some company selling a home pollution inspection service. And of course, the insurance industry would like to sell you term life insurance before it is too late. If anyone has ever sold you anything with a warning to fear the consequences, if you don't buy it, they are using a proverbial gun to your head to help you see the value of choosing them over their competitor. Or perhaps it is just a banana, but it works. Next is aspirations. Quitting smoking is the easiest thing I have ever done, said Mark Twain. I have done it hundreds of times. Start with why. If fear motivates us to move away from something horrible, aspirational messages tempts us towards something desirable. Marketers often talk about the importance of being aspirational, offering someone something they desire to achieve, and the ability to get there more easily with a particular product or service. 6 steps to a happier life. Walk those abs to your dream dress size. In 6 short weeks, you can be rich. All these messages manipulate. They tempt us with the things we want to have or to be the person we wish we were. Though positive in nature, aspirational messages are most effective with those who lack discipline or have a nagging fear or insecurity that they don't have the ability to achieve their dreams on their own, which at various times, for various reasons, is everyone. I always joke that you can get someone to buy a gym membership with an aspirational message, but to get them to go 3 days a week requires a bit of inspiration. Someone who lives a healthy lifestyle and is in a habit of exercising doesn't respond to 6 easy steps to losing weight. It is those who don't have the lifestyle that are more susceptible. It is not news that a lot of people try diet after diet after diet in an attempt to get the body of their dreams. And no matter the regime they choose, each comes with the qualification that regular exercise and a balanced diet will help boost results. In other words, discipline. Gym memberships tend to rise about 12% every January as people try to fulfill their New Year's aspirations to live a healthier life. Yet, only a fraction of those aspiring fitness buffs are still attending the gym by the end of the year. Aspirational messages can spur behavior, but for most, it won't last. Aspirational messages are not only effective in the customer consumer market, they also work quite well in business-to-business transactions. Managers of companies, big and small, all want to do well. So they make decisions, hire consultants, and implement systems to help them achieve that desired outcome. But all too often, it is not the systems that fail, but the ability to maintain them. I can speak from personal experience here. I have implemented a lot of systems or practices over the years to help me achieve the success to which I aspire, only to find myself back to my old habits 2 weeks later. I aspire for a system that will help me avoid implementing systems to meet all my aspirations, but I probably would not be able to follow it for very long. The short-term response to long-term desires is alive and well in the corporate world also. A management consultant friend of mine was hired by a billion-dollar company to help it fulfill its goals and aspirations. The problem was, she explained, no matter the issue, the company's managers were always drawn to the quicker, cheaper option over the better long-term solution. Just like the habitual dieter, they never have the time or money to do it right the first time, she said of her client, but they always have the time and money to do it again. Next is peer pressure. 4 out of 5 dentists prefer Trident, touts the chewing gum advertisement in an attempt to get you to try their product. A double blind study conducted at a top university concluded pushes a late night information. If the product is good enough for professionals, it is good enough for you. The advertising eggs on. With over 1 million satisfied customers and counting, teases another ad. These are all forms of peer pressure. When marketers report that a majority of a population or a group of experts prefer their product over another, they are attempting to sway the buyer to believing that whatever they are selling is better. The peer pressure works because we believe that majority or the experts might know more than we do. Peer pressure works not because the majority or the experts are always right, but because we fear that we may be wrong. Celebrity endorsements are sometimes used to add peer pressure to the sales pitch. If he uses it, we are supposed to think it must be good. This makes sense when we hear Tiger Woods endorse Nike golf products or Titleist golf balls. Woods' deal with Nike is actually credited with for putting the company on the map in the golf world. But Tiger has also endorsed General Motor cars, management consulting services, credit cards, food, and a Tag Heuer watch designed especially for the golfer. The watch, incidentally, can withstand a 5,000-gram shock, a level of shock more likely experienced by the golf ball than the golfer. But Tiger endorsed it, so it must be good. Celebrity endorsements are also used to appeal to our aspirations and our desires to be like them. The most explicit example was Gatorde's I Won't Be Like Mike campaign, which tempted youngsters to grow up and be just like Mike Jordan. Scroll up, please. If they drink Gatorade, With many other examples of celebrity endorsements, however, it is harder to see the connection. Sam Watterson of Law and Order fame, for example, sells online trading from TD Ameritrade, but for his celebrity, it is uncertain what an actor famed for convicting homicidal maniacs does for the brand. I guess he is trustworthy. Impressionable youth are not the only ones subject to peer pressure. Most of us have probably had an experience of being pressured by a salesman. Have you ever had a sales rep try to sell you some office solution by telling you that 70% of your competitors are using their service? So why aren't you? But what if 70% of your competitors are idiots? Or what if that 70% were given so much value added or offered such a low price that they could not resist the opportunity? The practice is designed to do one thing and one thing only, to pressure you to buy, to make you feel you might be missing out on something or that everyone else knows but you. Better to go with the majority, right? To quote my mother, if your friends put their head in the oven, would you do that too? Sadly, if Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods was paid to do just that, it might actually start a trend. Next is novelty, okay, or innovation. Yes, Pranvi, you want to read? Pranvi,
Yes,
you
Yeah, I
dear.
want
think
to?
we
Yeah.
can give to Pranavi.
Yeah, one
Yes.
second. Am I audible to you now?
Yes,
Yeah, we
yes.
can hear you.
Just a moment. I'm just trying. Yeah.
And those who want
They-
to read next, please put your name there after Pranavi. We have another
if
12
you
minutes
don't
to go.
mind, can you please let me know where the line is because I just now logged
You
in.
can start from the novelty.
Okay. Novelty. In a major innovation in design and engineering, Motorola has created a phone of first. Read a 2004 press release that announced the launch of the mobile phone manufacturer's newest entry to the ultra competitive mobile phone market. The combination of metals such as aircraft grade aluminum with new advances such as an internal antenna and a chemically etched keypad led to formation of a device that measures just 13.9 millimeters thin. And it worked. Millions of people rushed to get one. Celebrities flashed their razors on the red carpet. Even a prime minister or two was seen talking to one. Having sold over 50 million units, few could argue that the RAZR wasn't a huge success. By surpassing current mobile expectations, just a moment, where it is. Yeah, by surpassing current mobile expectations, the Razer represents Motorola's history of delivering revolutionary innovations, set forward Motorola CEO E.D. Zander of his new Wonder products, while setting a new bar for future products coming out of the wireless industry. This one product was a huge financial success for Motorola. This was truly an innovation of monumental proportions. Or was it? Less than 4 years later, Xander was forced out. The stock traded at 50% of its average value since the launch of the Razr and Motorola's competitors had easily surpassed the Razr's features and functionalities with equally innovative new phones. Motorola was once again rendered just another mobile phone manufacturer fighting for its piece of the pie. Like so many before it, the company confused innovation with novelty. Start with why. Real innovation changes the course of industries or even society. The light bulb, the microwave oven, the fax machine, iTunes. These are true innovations that changed how we conduct business, altered how we live our lives, And in the case of iTunes, challenged an industry to completely re-evaluate its business model. Adding a camera to a mobile phone, for example, is not an innovation. A great feature for sure, but not industry altering. With this revised definition in mind, even Motorola's own description of its new product becomes just a list of a few great features: a metal case, hidden antenna, flat keypad, and a thin phone. Hardly revolutionary innovation. Motorola had successfully designed the latest shiny object for people to get excited about, at least until a new shiny object came out. And that's the reason these features are more a novelty than an innovation. They are added in an attempt they are added in an attempt to differentiate but not reinvent. It's not a bad thing, but it cannot be counted on to add any long-term value. Novelty can drive sales, the Razor proved it, but the impact does not last. If a company adds too many novel ideas too often, it can have a similar impact on the product or category as the price game. In an attempt to differentiate with more features, the products start to look and feel more like commodities. And, like price, they need to add yet another product to the line to compensate for the commoditization, ends in a downward spiral. In the 1970s, there were only two types of Colgate toothpaste. But as competition increased, Colgate sales started to slip. So the company introduced a new product that included a new feature, the addition of fluoride perhaps. Then another. Whitening, tartar control, sparkles, stripes. Each innovation certainly helped boost sales for a while at least. And so the cycle continued. Guess how many different types of toothpaste Colgate's has for you to choose from today? 32. Today, there are 32 different types of Colgate toothpaste, excluding the four they make for kids. Carrots and sticks, yeah. And given how each company responds to the innovations of the other, that means that Colgate's competitors also sell a similar number of variants that offer about the same quality, about the same benefits at about the same price. There are literally dozens and dozens of toothpaste to choose from, yet there is no data to show that Americans are brushing their teeth more now than they were in the 1970s. Thanks to all this innovation, it has become almost impossible to know which toothpaste is right for you. So much so that even Colgate offers a link on their website called Need Help Deciding. If Colgate needs to help us pick one of their products because there are too many variations, how are we supposed to decide when we go to supermarket without their website to help us? Once again, this is an example of the newest set of shiny objects designed to encourage a trial or a purchase. What companies cleverly disguise as innovation is in fact novelty. And it's not only packaged goods that rely on novelty to lure customers, it's a common practice in other industries too. It works, but rarely, if ever, does the strategy cement any loyal relationships. Apple's iPhone has since replaced the Motorola Razr as the popular must have new mobile phone. Removing all the buttons and putting a touch screen is not what makes the iPhone innovative, however. Those are brilliant new features, but others can copy those things and it wouldn't redefine the category. There is something else that Apple did that is vastly more significant. Apple is not only leading how mobile phones are designed, but in typical Apple fashion, also how the industry functions. In the mobile phone industries, it is a service provider, not the phone manufacturer, that determines the features and benefits the phone can offer. T Mobile, Virgin Wireless, Sprint, AT&T all dictate to Motorola, Nokia, Ericsson, LG and others what the phones will do. The Apple showed up. They announced that they would tell the service provider what the phone would do, not the other way around. AT&T was the only one that agreed, thus earning the company the exclusive deal to offer the new technology. That's the kind of shift that will impact the industry for many years and will extend far beyond a few years of stock boost for the shiny new product. Novel? Oh. Yeah. Is anyone interested or shall I go ahead?
Yeah, I think we can hand over to Viren because we have very less time to complete today's reading.
Okay.
Viren, do you want to continue from the price you pay for the money you make?
Yeah, I
Uh,
can.
Yeah, over to you.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
The price you pay for the money you make. I cannot dispute that manipulations work. Every one of them can indeed help influence behavior, and every one of them can help a company become quite successful. But there are trade offs. Not a single one of them breeds loyalty. Over the course of time, they cost more and more. The gains are only short term, and they increase the level of stress for both the buyer and the seller. If you have exceptionally deep pockets or are looking to achieve only a short term gain with no consideration for the long term, then these strategies and tactics are perfect. Beyond the business world, manipulations are the norm in politics today as well. Just as manipulations can drive a sale but not create loyalty, so too can they help a candidate get elected, but they don't create a foundation for leadership. Leadership requires people to stick with you through thick and thin. Leadership is the ability. Can you scroll? Leadership is the ability to rally people not for a single event, but for years. In business leadership, in business, leadership means that customer will continue to support your company even when you slip up. If manipulation is the only strategy, what happens the next time a purchase decision is required? What happens after the election is won? There is a big difference between repeat business and loyalty. Repeat business is when people do business with you multiple times. Loyalty is when people are willing to turn down a better product or a better price to continue doing business with you. Loyal customer often don't even bother to research the competition or entertain other options. Loyalty really won. Repeat business, however, is all it takes is more manipulation. Manipulative techniques have become such a mainstay in American business today that it has become virtually impossible for some to stick the habit. Like any addiction, the drive is not to get sober, but to find the next five faster and more frequently. And as good as the short term highs may feel, they have a deteriorating impact on the long term health of an organization. Addicted to the short term results, business today has largely become a series of quick fixes added on one after another. The short term tactics have become so sophisticated that an entire economy has developed to survive the manipulations, equipped with statistics and quasi science. Direct marketing companies, for example, offer calculations about which goods will get the best result on each piece of direct mail they send out. Those that offer mail in rebates know the incentive works, and they know that the higher the rebate, the more effective it is. They also know the cost that goes along with those rebates. To make them profitable, manufacturers rely on the breakage and slippage numbers staying above a certain threshold. Just like our trusty drug addict, whose behavior is reinforced by how good the short term high feels. The temptation to make the qualification of the rebate more obscure or cumbersome so as to reduce the number of qualified applications can be overwhelming for some. Samsung, the electronic giant, mastered the art of the kind of fine print that makes rebate so profitable for companies. In the early 2000s, the company offered rebates up to $150 on a variety of electronic products, stipulating in the fine print that the rebate was limited to one per address, a requirement that would have sounded reasonable enough to anyone at the time. Yet in practice, it effectively disqualified all customers who lived in apartment buildings where more than one resident had applied for the same rebate. More than 4,000 Samsung customers lived by the cashback received notices denying them rebates on those grounds. The practice was brought to the attention of the New York Attorney General, and in 2004, Samsung was ordered to pay $200,000 in rebate claims to apartment dwellers. This is an extreme case of a company that got caught. But the rebate game of cutting out UPC symbols, filling out forms, and doing it all before the deadline is alive and well. How can a company claim to be a customer focused when they are so comfortable measuring the number of customers who will fail to realize any positive promise of savings?
Okay, within 1 minute, let me check how many pages remaining for completing this chapter. Okay, we are at page number 32. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's a long one, I think.
Yeah, I think we have more pages. So we have another 4 pages for that next page. But time is 7:42. Team, do we want to continue one more chapter or can we start discussion? Okay, manipulations. I think we will continue manipulations lead to transactions. Then we can, with this, we can end.
Okay, so I continue.
Yeah, continue.
Okay. Manipulations lead to transactions, not loyalty. It's simple. Explain the TV infomercial. Simply put your old gold jewelry in the prepaid insured envelope and we will send you a check for the value of the gold in just 2 days. MyGoldEnvelope.com is one of the leaders in this industry, serving as a broker for gold to be sent to a refinery, melted down, and reintroduced into the commodity market. When Douglas Fairstein and Michael Moran started the company, they wanted to be the best in the business. They wanted to transform an industry with the reputation of a back alley pawn shop and give it a bit of the Tiffany's scene. They invested money in making the experience perfect. They worked to make the customer service experience ideal. They were both successful entrepreneurs and knew the value of building a brand and a strong customer experience. They would spend a lot of money trying to get the balance. Can you scroll? They were both successful entrepreneurs and knew the value of building a brand and a strong customer experience. They would spend a lot of money trying to get the balance right, and they made sure to explain the difference in direct response advertising on various local and national cable stations. Better than the similar effort offers, they would say, and they were right, but the investment didn't pay off as expected. A few months later, Fairstein and Moran made a significant discovery. Almost all of their customers did business with them only once. They had a transactional business, yet they were trying to make it so much more than that. So they stopped trying to make their service better than similar offers and instead settled with good. Given that most people were not going to become repeat customers, there weren't going to be any head to head comparisons made to the other services. All they needed to do was drive a purchase decision and offer a pleasant enough experience that people would recommend it to a friend. Any more was unnecessary. Once the owner of mygoldenenvelope.com realized that they didn't need to invest in the things that build loyalty, if all they wanted to do was drive transactions, their business became vastly more efficient and more profitable. For transactions that occur an average of once, carrots and sticks are the best way to elicit the desired behavior. When the police offer a reward, they are not looking to nurture a relationship with the witness or tipster. It is just a single transaction. When you lose your kitten and offer a reward to get it back, you don't need to have a lasting relationship with the person returning to it. You just want to your cat back. Manipulations are a perfectly valid strategy for driving a transaction or for any behavior that is only required once or on rare occasion. The rewards the police use are designed to incentivize witness to come forward to provide tips or evidence that may lead to an arrest. And like any promotion, the manipulation will work if the incentive feels high enough to mitigate the risk. In any circumstance in which a person or organization wants more than a single transaction, however, if there is a hope for a loyal, lasting relationship, manipulation do not help. Does a politician want your vote, for example, or does he or she want a lifetime of support and loyalty from you? Judging by how elections are run these days, it seems all they want is to win elections. Adds discrediting opponents, a focus on single issues, an uncomfortable reliance on fear or aspirational desires are all indicators. Those tactics wins elections, but they do not seed loyalties among the voters. The American car industry learned the hard way the high cost of relying on manipulations to build a business when loyalty was that they really needed to nurture. Where manipulation may be a viable strategy when times are good and money is flush, a change in market condition made them too expensive. When the oil crisis of 2008 heat, the auto industry's promotion and incentive become untenable. The same thing happened in the 1970s. In this case, how long the manipulations could produce short term gains was defined by the length of time the economy could sustain the strategy. This is a fundamentally weak platform upon which to build a business, an assumption of never ending boom. Though loyal customers are less tempted by other offers and incentives, in good times the free flow of business makes it hard to recognize their value. It's in the tough times that loyal customer matters most. Manipulation work, but they cost money, lots of money. When the money is not as available to fund those tactics, not having a loyal following really hurts. After September 11, there were customers who sent checks to Southwest Airlines to show their support. One note that accompanied a check for $1,000 read, "You have been so good to me over the years. In these hard times, I wanted to say thank you by helping you out." The checks that Southwest Airlines received were certainly not enough to make any significant impact on the company's bottom line, but they were symbolic of the feeling customer had for the brand. They had a sense of partnership. The loyal behavior of those who didn't send money is almost impossible to measure, but its impact has been invaluable over the long term, helping Southwest to maintain its position as the most profitable airline in history. Knowing you have a loyal customer and employee base not only reduces cost, it provides massive peace of mind. Like loyal friends, you know your customer and employee will be there for you when you need them most. It is the feeling of we are in this together, shared between customer and company, voter and candidate, boss and employee, that defines great leaders. In contrast, relying on manipulations creates massive stress for buyer and seller alike. For the buyer, it has become increasingly difficult to know which product, service, brand, or company is best. I joke about the proliferation of toothpaste varieties and the difficulty of choosing the right one. But toothpaste is just a metaphor. Nearly every decision we are asked to make every single day is like choosing toothpaste, deciding what law firm to hire, college to attend, car to buy, company to work for, candidate to elect. There are just too many choices. All the advertising, promotions, and pressure employed to tempt us one way or another, each attempting to push harder than the other to court us for our money or our support, ultimately yields one consistent result: stress. For the companies too, whose obligation it is to help us decide. Their ability to do so has gotten more and more difficult. Every day, the competition is doing something new, something better. To constantly have to come up with a new promotion, a new guerrilla marketing tactic, a new feature to add is hard work. Combined with the long term effect of years of short term decision that have eroded profit margins, this raises stress level inside organizations as well. When manipulations are the norm, no one wins. It's not an accident that doing business today and being in the workforce today is more stressful than it used to be. Peter Y. Brown, in his book American Mania, When More Is Not Enough, argues that many of the ills that we suffer from today, we have very little to do with the bad food we are eating or the partially hydrogenated oils in our diet. Rather, Webro says it's the way that corporate America scroll corporate America has developed that has increased our stress to levels so high we are literally making ourselves sick because of it. Americans are suffering ulcers, depression, high blood pressure, anxiety, and cancer at record levels. According to Vibro, all those promises of more, more, more are actually overloading the reward circuits of our brain. The short-term gains that drive business in America today are actually destroying our health.
Okay, thank you, Viren. With this, we come to end of today's reading. 1 minute, let me check how many pages remaining or how many chapters remaining for the completing. Oh, I think we are completing this chapter. Okay, can we connect? I think just one page. Please, you read this. Please complete this so that we will
Yes, yes,
complete
yes.
this chapter. Yeah.
Just because it doesn't it just because it works doesn't make it right. Good. The danger of manipulation is that they work, and because manipulation works, they have become the norm, practiced by the vast majority of companies and organizations, regardless of size or industry. That fact alone creates a systemic peer pressure. With perfect irony, we, the manipulators, have been manipulated by our own system. With every price drop, promotions, fear based or aspirational message, and novelty we use to achieve our goals, we find our companies, our organization, and our system getting weaker and weaker. The economic crisis that began in 2008 is just another, albeit extreme, example of what can happen if a flawed assumption is allowed to carry on for too long. The collapse of the housing market and the subsequent collapse of the banking industry were due to decision made inside the banks based on a series of manipulation. Employees were manipulated with bonuses that encourage short-sighted decision making. Open shaming of anyone who spoke out discouraged responsible dissent. A free flow of loans encouraged aspiring homebuyers to buy more than they could afford at all price levels. There was very little loyalty. It was all a series of transactional decisions, effective, but at a high cost. Few were working for the good of the wall. Why would they? There was no reason given to do so. There was no cause or belief beyond instant gratification. Bankers weren't the first to be swept up by their own success. American car manufacturers have concluded themselves the same way for decades. Manipulation after manipulation, short term decision built upon short term decision. Buckling or even collapse is the only logical conclusion when manipulations are the main course of action. The reality is, in today's world, manipulation are the norm, but there is an alternative.
Okay. Thank you. With this, we come to end of the chapter, the part one of this book, "A World That Doesn't Start with Why," and we have completed reading the second chapter, "Carrots and Sticks." See, the entire chapter, he talks about if you want to influence anyone, there are only two ways. Either you have to inspire them or you have to manipulate them. Especially when we are in business world, they use, I think, the second way. I think they manipulate the way they make you fear, the way they advertise, and they do a lot of techniques to manipulate. So that is what we have read in the all different chapters in today's reading. Okay, anyone want to share your any of your experience? I understand we are the end of time. Just we take a next 10 minutes time to discuss about today's reading. Your sharings. Tomorrow onwards, we are going to enter the exciting or more exciting part of this book. That is what I think we are entering into very interesting part. The core value. Why is important than what and how. So please you don't miss it tomorrow onwards. And please you start sharing about today's reading. Anyone want to share? Or you can share your manipulations, I think, or how you got impacted or how you had experience with that, the manipulation techniques by the business. Okay, hey, this is what they fear me or they uh, aspire me something to buy it. I end up with buying it or end up with all the, are you part of any particular company which you have been loyal to them? Anyone?
Yes, yes, yeah, a
Please.
little bit I'd share. Yeah, this today's chapter was mostly about how the industries function, how they influence us, inspire us, or manipulate us using fear, advertisements, various metaphors of various brands were used, like toothpaste company. So all they, in order to give the promise of more and more, actually we they are the situation is really alarming as it is overloading our reward circuits of the brain. Uh, so various tactics how they use and how we need to be mindful. What I got from today's chapter. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Suman. Who is this? Okay, let me
Yeah, Suman,
share.
Suman, Suman.
Suman. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Thank you, Suman, for leading and your sharing. Okay, let me stop sharing the screen so that I can see you. I think if I share the screen, I don't see who is reading. Okay, anybody want to share? There are a lot of things I think we have read today around 6, 7 parts. The manipulation techniques, the price, promotion, fear, aspirations, novelty, and the peer pressure. I think
So,
sometimes, yeah, who wants?
so the Viran.
Yeah, Varun.
So the my I like the statement that the bad part of about manipulation is it works, and we also feel that it works many a times, right? So it about while purchasing anything, it about while eating anything, like Suppose if we are visiting the pizza outlet and we have a like hunger of only just one pizza, but we see that buy one get one free, right? And we try to get like let's have two, will not see the impact on the long term. So it's a buying it a one time, it's a transactional, but the impact is on the overall our health that we are not thinking of that. So I like the analogy the author has stated.
Yeah. Yeah, Viren, I think yeah, I think it reminds me some there are some incident once I think it was a decade back. It's a Pizza Hut offer for that unlimited pizza for the 250 rupees. I went with my friend and we had a lot of pizzas, but I we were cheering up at that moment. Hey, this is cost is more, but we had it. But that we did understand that actual impact, the how it will impact our health and all those things. Yeah, this is kind of the one kind of the manipulations what companies do, and especially the festival time they do offers. I think they mentioned in the book also the 70% offer, 60% offers. It's kind of the fear. I think they also create the FOMO. Okay, fear of missing opportunity. If we miss this, then when this offer will come again? They manipulate in that way. Wherever we go, wherever we see such ads and make them to buy it. If we miss it now, we won't get this opportunity again. That is kind of the manipulations the companies do, and most of us fall in. I think very few they are very clear about what we need. Well, if they will go for it. Anyone want to share
Yeah,
any
so
experience?
so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just want to add one point. So there is one opposite point related to manipulation, it's addiction. So if you don't want to trap in in manipulation, you create an addiction with the customer, with anyone, like cigarettes. They don't need any manipulation tactics, like buy one get one free. You will get added discounts for this, but people will buy it because there is addiction. So to avoid the manipulation, you need to create an addiction for the people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So apart from I think, can you call out something apart from cigarette? Is there any other things we which is making us addiction? I would say that OTT platforms. Sometimes I think
Yes,
we get to do
definitely.
a lot. Okay, so I
Yes.
always says Maggie. Anybody else wants to share? Manish ji, you are so silent today.
Yeah, I was just making chapatis, so I was just
Okay.
saying. Actually, this week, last weekend, I took a membership from Crown Plaza five-star hotel. Okay, some
Oh,
annual membership for room stay, dinner, buffet, and so many other things also. So they gave me a big coupon book. Okay, but
uh,
when I went to dinner and all that, I didn't find the quality. I found the quality of food not up to the mark. So I told them that
uh,
why you give me a big coupon book? You can give me half, but give me the quality. Give me the best quality because this is what I am supposed to be here, right? So, so the point is that a lot of people just focus on the business. They don't focus on the quality of the service that you are supposed to give. Okay, so
mhm.
that is one thing. And after that, they said, okay, yes, you tell me, we'll send the food to your room and all these things like that. So they just started, protecting their own whatever business model and all that. So that is one thing. So see, the insight from this book is what I learned is that you have to give value to the customer beyond your gain. It's just not about that. Okay, I'm selling something and I need to have this much profit and nothing more than that. Because when the author mentioned about the Southwest Airlines, see, their focus is too much on the customer service. They don't want the customer to feel unhappy or unsatisfied. So they will go beyond profits to give customer the best service. Most of the flights, this airline they will be on time. Okay, so they will do everything to make the customer get connected with them through good service. So because what happen is that in long term, people stay with you only when they believe that you are working for them beyond self gain, not just for profits. You want to make the customer feel great experience, world class experience, that they will be treated well and things like that. And through this service, the people get connected with you emotionally. So and this is how you can add great value to the customer in the long run, and you can and it helps in business and so many other ways, in so many different ways. That's why the author mentioned that after 9/11, I was also in US that time, 9/11. So people gave charity checks and so many other ways people try to help the airline to stay in business. I think one of the airline was Southwest, I think, through that 9/11. So the point is that uh, one should focus like the same thing, why factor, right? Why people should stay with you? Why should people stay with Southwest Airlines? Because their customer service is beyond other airlines. They focus on customer satisfaction, customer service. They want to feel customer very connected to you. So I think one should have a very strong why factor, and that can only happen through some great cause, passion, self belief. That if you want to have a customer, you want it forever actually. And this is how great businesses have been set up. And same thing like Steve Jobs, he gave Apple computer, Apple phone. It was something not comparable to any other mobile company, right? So it's all about great experience, great happiness, and how the company serves you. It is beyond the profits, basically. Profit
Yeah,
can only serve you up to a certain time limit. But
yeah,
if you have to sustain forever, you have to go beyond profits. You have to give the customer world class experience, a great service. Yeah, thank you.
yeah. Thanks, Manish ji. Yeah, I think many companies to sustain or if want to increase loyalty, I think they should provide a great experience to customers. By the way, which city you have bought that five-star hotel membership?
Gurgaon.
Gurgaon. Okay, then when we come to Gurgaon, then with your five-star the membership card, we can stay in five-star hotel, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Who else wants to share? We have another 3 minutes. So,
Rajesh Vivek here.
yeah, Vivek.
Yeah, actually, one thing I would like to tell, like this habit building. So I think somewhere it comes like in the beginning of the year we start the gym and most of people leave. So
Hmm.
like if we do this kind of micro habits, like doing it for something like a very small thing, like which is very achievable every day. So it is then it will be continued for a longer period of time. So I don't know, like gym and all in the people enroll in the beginning of the year and they quit within 15 days, most of only for the as a matter of, but it is doesn't continue for a long time. So that is what the micro habits that helps. So the small habits actually. So every day consistently doing for at least 60 to 90 days. So yeah, that is really helping, and you can keep adding to that one by one. Every 21 to 30 days, you can add a new habit. So that's what. And another thing is like giving value to the people for improving the business. So I think that really instead of manipulation. So I think adding value in the whatever the product or is there, and that really will help to gain more people. That will like so that is what I would like to say, Rajesh, to this.
Thanks, Vivek. I agree with you. See, the inspirations and excitements, it will initiate with something. But taking it to the longer run, one should have a discipline and the proper consistency. Only then we will be able to achieve and we can go for longer run. That is one example for that. The gym membership, something where the beginning of the year will start something. Then within 2 weeks they forget. Then then again it will can become to remember. There's the one thing I want to say. This thing is Jimlon. He says in his podcast, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. If we bring that one habit, you bring that quality and discipline and consistency. If you bring it to one thing, then we will start applying one after another. But we have to take that. I think not all together. It will be extra stress. bring that one habit, then the next one habit, the next one thing. This is involves a lot of disciplines, and the consistency matters a lot. Thank you so much. Brought up this point in today's session. Anyone else wants to share something before we wind up today's call?
Actually, one thing I want to add that, when we focus on building habits, whether it is like, going to gym or whatever, I think one should have a accountable partner for each other. I think that also plays a very important role.
That's really great. Yeah, yeah, great point, Manish. Yeah, yeah. Accountability partners. Yeah,
Because
it
when
adds
you
more
see the
value. I
Yeah, because
see. I
when two
agree.
people are working, your motivation goes very high.
Yeah,
You can talk and you can have a good time. You can help each other in so many different ways.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely agree with you on this point. Okay, team. Thank you so much. Now time is 8:11, and let's come to end of today's session, and let's start with tomorrow. I think tomorrow's session onwards, we will have a very exciting one. They talk about the golden circle, and they talk about that the biology part, and also talk about the clarity, discipline, and consistency in this coming up chapters. So please stay tuned and join tomorrow. Let's start
Ajay
uh, sharp at
I
7
just,
tomorrow. Yeah, Manish ji.
yeah, I just want to add something very important, which I feel just came to my mind. See, the thing is, whatever we are trying to achieve, basically,
Mhm.
we should do very strong affirmations before we go to sleep or whatever free time we get in the day. Because whatever
Yeah.
we are trying to achieve, if we can conceive in the mind, and you can visualize yourself seeing what you want to become before you make it. That also helps play a lot, because what happens is, that way you are basically you are setting your mind to
Mhm.
work in that direction in a more better way. So having those affirmation, visualization, things like that, they play a very important role. So I think and that is very important before we go to sleep, because our subconscious mind is always working, right? And most of the activity we do is based on subconscious mind, right? So we should do this affirmation, visualization, that yes, I'm healthy. Whatever I want to become, I can see myself like becoming that person. So that way what will happen in, it will give you the extra the required
Mhm.
energy, motivation, and that comfort to make it happen, and it will help you to take actions on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Manish ji. Thank you so much for sharing. And we come with this, we come to end of today's leading. Let's make a habit of, I think today we have extended 10 more minutes. Let's make a habit of 7 to 8. Let's stick to this one time. That is I wanted to follow since we started this book, but today we exceeded. I also started 5 minutes late. Apologies for that. Tomorrow onwards, let's start sharp at 7 to 7:40. We will have a book reading, and then the next 20 minutes for the day discussions. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rajesh will be taking the AI notes.
Yeah, yeah, I'm taking 1 minute.
I don't have
I
to
have
take, na?
no, 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 no. I will take. I have already taken
Okay.
this. I will take a note of. Yeah, please stay, Mansi. I need some help. Hi, Vidya. Are you there? Okay. So, Mansi.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Fine. I think.
So,
So sorry once again. I
we-
think today also I got late. I think I got late. I think
no,
I
no problem.
called you. I have some problem. The problem is
No, no,
I'm
I
using my
checked.
office
I have
laptop.
stored it. So I'll just do, we'll have to leave this meeting first.
Yeah, yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah.
this will
Let
all
me leave.
get added, and unless we end the call, it doesn't
Oh,
get the recording doesn't get saved. Like I
ah,
don't
okay.
have an option how to we can just disconnect the recording and keep the call on. I think that's
Understand.
not better.
Let's end this meeting and then we can join. I think
We can
so,
rejoin. We can
yeah,
rejoin for
yeah.
a while.
Rejoin.